Welcome back to the shop, everybody. Another couple of weeks, and I'm on time with this video. I've learned from my mistakes. Let's jump straight in after, now that we're on the final half of this project. We started with some cork oak. I've had a piece of cork oak sitting under my bench for a while. It was part of the original lot of wood that I got when I got my lathe a few years back. Um, and my chainsaw's been in the shop getting a service, so I haven't had anything to cut it down. My electric chainsaw just doesn't have the grunt to get through anything, and I can't really be bothered with it. So I waited for my big boy to come back, and this stuff's fantastic. Just it it must have got wet somewhere along the line. It's got spalting through it. I had another log that of the same stuff that I cut in half, and the whole thing was spongy. So the fungal infection had gone way way worse. And whereas it's pretty, it's solid. It's just a little bit more interesting than a standard piece of oak. In terms of texture, it's very similar to just a white oak. Um, it is different, but it's the same but different. The letdown on this one was that the bark flew off when I was sanding it. I didn't have the film on at the time, but I must have caught a little bit with the sander, and it just pinged off, and I couldn't find it to glue it back on. I did go around at the start of the project and try and super glue it, because I have used this in the past, and it has been a little bit dicey. So I'm a bit pissed off about that, but still a great little project, with this natural edge, but like one of the deeper ones where it looks longer than it does look round. It's a cool little optical illusion. So yeah, shape-wise, really happy with this one. Wall thickness could be a little bit better. It thins out at the bottom, but not enough to worry. But just, yeah, you're talking a millimetre or two difference between the top and the bottom. So that's just being nitpicky, which is what this is all about. It's a nice, simple design. It's the wood's talking for itself. So yeah, I'm really happy with this one. This one's a cracker little bowl. A nice, simple detail on the foot. There's not a whole lot to say about this. I've got some more up there, just probably enough for another bowl. So I'm looking forward to using that. In the future, might do another one on here. Maybe try and stay away from the natural edge, because it's getting a bit samey maybe. I'm not too sure. But yeah, nice and simple. The curve is really consistent. So my technique in terms of that is getting a lot better. Just keeping my curve flowing through, not having any distinct changes in direction. So very happy with this one. Nice and simple. Not much to say on it. Just a pretty piece of wood, and something different. This big old dirty salad bowl. I hope I fixed it up. I went back and fished through some of the material. I filmed a little bit extra as well, but turns out I deleted all the footage of not half, but the arse end of this project. I thought I had it on my computer. I checked on my computer and forgot that I'd filmed it over 2 SD cards and deleted it off the camera. So I'm an idiot. I should have learned by now. I've lost footage a few times along this project, but hey, look, you live and you learn. Okay, so this is the first time, well, in this project, and it's the first time in a long time that I've done outboard turning because of the size of this bowl. I think I need to do a bit more research on best ways to do it. I might need to put a counterbalance on the lathe or something, because I had issues galore with this going out of round, or not necessarily going out of round, but of it maybe adjusting itself a little bit within the chuck, something along those lines. So I would turn it and then it would get vibration in there, and then I couldn't turn the speed up on the lathe, So it was just a constant battle. I couldn't get the speed up to get good cuts, so I had lots of tear out on the end grain. It took me 3 days to turn this one over, the hours that I had to do it. And most of that was sanding because, I started off, turned the outside, sanded it back, put um, the chuck on, mounted it, and it was already out of round. So next time, so that's something I've learned. Next time, before I sand it, I'll chuck it on the right, this way, check that it's round, straighten it up, and then sand it all together at the end. But yeah, I would turn a bit, and then I left it overnight, came back in the morning, and it was all over the shop. So turned it again. I've probably turned the outside about 3 times over the project, and I, not as much on the inside, but definitely the outside. I had a massive struggle with getting sanding marks out of it, to the point where I contemplated texturing the whole thing, just to get rid of them. I'd work up through the grits thinking I was good, and then I'd get to like 240, 320, and then all of a sudden there was a whole heap of lines that I'd missed from an earlier grit. So eventually I did spit the dummy, and so the inside's sanded up really well. The outside, I've just sanded it at a 60 grit, and it's actually come out a lot nicer than I thought. You can't see the sanding marks as much as you'd expect now that it's got a coat of oil on it, and it feels really nice, especially for like a big serving salad bowl like this. It's got some grip to it, which I suppose works now with thinking about it, but I didn't think of that as like a design thing, that a big bowl, it's going to be heavy, maybe to get it to a table, you don't want it being too smooth to slip out your hands potentially. So sort of a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. The inside, I could have, it's just it's a little bit rough in terms of that curve. I could, knowing how much I battled with this, it's as good as I could have got it. In the future, I would like that to be a little bit more consistent. You can sort of feel 2 different direction changes. One at the bottom here where it's just got a bit of a divot. It's not massive, but it's there. And then just on the edge here, so it's sort of, it stops a bit. But again, look, I'm here critiquing my work, and that's what I need to do, is pick on things like that to improve next time. So I'm not a fan of this bowl, because it was such a battle. When it sits on the bench, we've had it on the bench and put some fruit in it. It looks good, and I'm liking it more and more. But I don't want it in the house. I've already gifted this to a friend who was in need of it. So I might look. I've got some ideas to help turn outboard turning a bit better. So maybe towards the end of this, I'll try and implement them and see if it comes out better. But for the most part, let's just keep it in between the centres and make life a bit easier. Anyway, that's sort of that for this little bunch, and let's see what else I can churn out. Hey, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll see you on the next one. See ya.